pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will listen to us as we take the prayers from the various heads of our community. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you very much, Sheikh. We now have the prayer against the spread of the coronavirus pandemic in Ghana by the Amir and missionary in charge of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Mission of Ghana, Mawlevi Saleh Amir.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Most gracious, ever merciful Lord of all the worlds, we remember that you have given us the assurance in your holy book, your own word, that La taqnatu bi rahmatullah, that do not, under any circumstances, despise of the mercy of Allah. Today, gracious, ever merciful Lord of all the worlds, we are a distressed people. We are a distressed nation. We are under the siege of a devastating virus which threatens to wipe off the entirety of our nation and indeed the world from existence. Under the circumstances, therefore, we remember your assurance to us that we should not despise of your mercy. Today, therefore, most gracious, ever merciful Lord of all the world, we humbly realize the fact that we have come to a stage when nothing can stand us any good stead apart from your mercy. And therefore, under this distress, we call upon you and remind you of your promise to us that we need your mercy. We've never needed your mercy ever than we need it today. And we have the trust that you would have mercy upon us. You did tell us in your own holy book, in your own words, that وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي, that whenever my servants find themselves in a situation of distress, and they ask to know whether there is anyone anywhere out there who can be useful to them, فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ, tell them that I am close by, I am a part and parcel of you. أُجِيبُ دَعْوَةَ الدَّاعِي إِذَا دَعَانِي, and whenever and at any given time that any of my despised, dejected, and afflicted servants have called upon me, ujibu da'awata da'i, I've always responded favorably to such distress calls. وَلْيَسْتَجِيبُوا لِي, therefore, I call upon you not to lose faith, not to believe and depend on the support from any source. See me as your support base and hearken unto me whenever you are distressed. وَلْيُؤْمِنُوا بِي, and I call upon you to believe in me, not just believing in me as your Lord, your Creator, the Master of the universe, but to also believe in my capacities that yes, I have what it takes to save you from this scourge of a virus at a time when we are helpless. but not the least ever despise of your mercy. And we collectively cry and pray you to save us from the scourge of this devastating virus. Gracious God and Lord of all the worlds, you have done it before. You have done it severally. Who is it that saved the children of Israel from the atrocities of the Pharaoh? That was their time of distress. None could save them. It was you who saved them, Allah. It was you who saved Hazrat Musa alayhi salam from drowning in the sea when he was pursued by enemy forces. At the time you raised your prophet, Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and under severe persecution, with your divine permission, he had to migrate from Mecca to Medina with his very trusted companion, Hazrat Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala anhu. After a long walk, they sought refuge in a cave to have a little rest. Pursued by the enemy, right up to the mouth of the cave, the enemy felt that Muhammad is either in this cave or he must gone up high into the skies. And our exercise, therefore, is a futile one. But in the cage, what saved the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his companion from destruction was just an ordinary web of a spider, which, when observed by the enemy, felt it was impossible for anybody to be in this cave, while the web of the spider covers the mouth of this cave. That was a moment of distress. Ya Allah, who saved your servant Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam? It was you who did it. At the time of distress, when Muslims were overcome with grief, hardships, and they faced unbearable circumstances, they cried out loud from the depth of their hearts, Mata Nasrullah, O Allah, you promise us your help. But in the midst of that promise, this is what we are going through. Mata Nasrullah. When will that help of Allah come? Allah, you showed us you did it. You indeed granted that help because of that distressful call from your servants. And you granted them entry into Mecca without shedding of a single drop of blood. Most gracious, ever merciful Lord of all the worlds, you saved Hazrat Yusuf alayhi salam when his brothers tried to destroy him and eliminate him completely from the surface of the earth. His father had firm faith in the protective hands of the Almighty Allah, and that is you. Because of that faith, فَلْيُؤْمِنُوا بِي, he always smelt the fragrance of Hazrat Yusuf, which gave him the idea and the conviction that yes, indeed, his son is not dead. He is under the protective hands of the Almighty Allah. Yes, Allah, you did it. And at the end of the day, Hazrat Yusuf became a sovereign, received his father as well as his brothers. Ya Allah, today we are before you in prostration, on our knees, representing each and every living being in this country and the world at large, praying and asking for your mercy. We're not asking more than you have granted us to ask. We're just asking only that which you have permitted us to ask you. And today, therefore, we ask for your mercy. We believe you are merciful. You have demonstrated it severally. Today, we need that mercy in Mother Ghana. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Rahman Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا صراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين السلام عليكم.
Thank you very much. Now we have the prayer for frontline health workers in the fight against the pandemic.